R2-D2, Your Highness.
Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. This is your host, Steve. Up next is the Build Your Own R2-D2 from D'Agostini Model Space. This is issue 55. Here's the magazine, and with the magazine we get the parts, and the parts that we get with this are some screws and a motor. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this out, we'll get a closer look at it, we'll assemble this issue, then we'll look at the magazine. Be right back. Here's a close-up view of the parts that are contained within the bag. We get a nice blister pack protecting our motor for the right leg. And then we get a bunch of screws here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. We'll get a closer look. With this issue we get 5 very long silver screws. And we get 25 fixing screws, the black type. They look like they're about 6 millimeters. And then of course we get the left wheel motor and gearbox. Okay. So, I know I said right earlier, it's the left. Be right back, we'll go ahead and assemble this issue. We will secure the motor to the left leg using these 10 millimeter silver screws, 4 of them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and install the motor to the left leg, and you can see it's got a simple shaft here that goes into the wheel. And we're just going to make it till the shaft falls in place like so. And it doesn't go straight up and down like that, it kind of goes off on a curve. And we're going to simply put in our screws. Same thing as before. I don't want these backing out. I am going to go ahead and put some Loctite on the threads. And these are the 10 millimeter. Just a little bit on the threads there. Feed that in and just kind of get it started. Don't tighten it down. Make it so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Like that. There you go. It's quite a strong magnet on there, so be careful when you're doing that. And one more on the other side. Wrong hole. There we go. And one more to go. We'll just tighten those down now. And all 4 are tightened down now. Secured with Loctite. And there you have it. We'll move to the next step. Alright, I'm back now that we finished mounting the motor. And I have some cabling here, some wiring from stage 46. You have a small connector on one side and large connector on the other. Obviously the large connector mounts to the motor. We're going to insert it through this bracket here, LPR 18, and ultimately it's going to plug right into the motor. So we'll snap that into the motor very carefully. Now we're going to secure this down with some wire ties a little bit later, but when we do, we want to make sure that we have lots of slack on this wire. And because the mistake I made last time is I didn't give it any slack, and I had a hard time with it getting it hooked up. So I'm going to give it a little more slack than normal when it's clamped down like that. Alright. Next we got cabling from stage 45, and that's this orange and yellow wiring. It has a large pin and a small pin. Now last time I flip-flopped these and I didn't get it right. So this smaller connector goes to the sensor on the foot. So that's what needs to be fed through. Okay, and you want to measure and have at least as many as 135 millimeter of length. I'm going to give myself a little more. I mark that. That's actually 5.3 of an inch long. So I marked it already with a ruler, and I'm going to give myself a little more than that down to the leg. So that's going to wrap around kind of like that. Now we have some wire ties supplied. And these wire ties will all get put in here. There's 4 of them, and there's 4 spots that these wire ties go into. Got one right here, one right there, one right there, and one right there. Okay, so I'm going to get them all started, but I'm not going to tighten them down. I want to make sure they are holding all the wires, just like that. There's one. And 2. Three. And 4. Now before I pull them tight, especially on this end, like I said, I want to make sure I give myself plenty of slack here. And there's one. And the last one. Go in there with some cutters. Cut them off. And there you go. Looks good. Next thing we do is we get the outer casing ready. We got to feed our wiring through the outer casing. And that will go through just like that. Okay. This is going to sandwich down. Just like that. Use that to hold it still there, and this will sandwich together just like that. Next we'll mount this outer detail. Right where it belongs. And they want us to put in 6mm screws into 12 holes. Here's one. I know you all haven't seen an update to this in a long while. Since this is a build I purchased myself, I went ahead and put it on hold for a few months so I can get caught up on my other builds. But I'm back at it. I have a bunch of issues waiting to be built up all the way up into the 80s, so a little behind, but that's okay. I love this R2-D2. I really want to finish it up and get it running. And we have 2 more to do. Looks good so far. Looks great. Next we take the ankle assembly from stage 43 and we put it in the 4 long posts. We line them up just like that. Turn this over. And we take the bottom cover from stage 47 and we snap in a couple detail parts to it. Making sure we have them going the right way here. Just like that. And they just snap in just like that. Do the other side. And our cover will get mounted down. Now we want to make sure that our wiring is going to come out of this end here. There we go. So it's not interfering with that at all. And once again we'll put in 4 more 6mm screws to hold this together. There's 1. 2. 3. 1 more to go. And 4. Looks good there. I will be right back. And that completes stage 55. There was a lot to do here. I had a lot of fun assembling it. Just pay attention to your wiring and what side connectors you do. Obviously the smaller connector for this wire for the sensor. Give yourself plenty of slack here on the motor and you're good. Everything has been assembled here, so stay tuned for stage 56, which will be coming up shortly. And before we finish up this video, I am back with the magazine for issue 55. Let's open this up and go through it here real quick. And our table of contents breaks it down into Building the Galaxy, which is the first article, the Droid Directory, Understanding Robotics, and Build R2-D2. First article is Red Sails in the Desert. As we know, this was filmed in the Arizona desert in Yuma, and where they had the Jabba's luxurious sail barge and the Sarlacc pit. So that's very cool. They have 3 pages on that. And then we get into the Aqua droids, amphibious battle droids, the Techno Union, and there's a lot of articles and a lot of stuff built into this magazine, so the magazine is worth itself alone for the subscription. I've learned a lot about the Star Wars universe just by reading these magazines. And moving forward here, automated shipping. Nice article on that, which gets into our understanding robotics. So we have 4 pages on that. And then we get into the actual build. We have a lot to do here. We fit the drive motor here. Several steps involved with that. 8 steps there. And then moving on, we have another 6 more steps included, so 14 total for that. Fitting the leg castings. So we grab all parts that we've already had in previous issues and we assemble all that. So it's quite a long build that we just did, and it gives us a preview of what we have up and coming for issue 56. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. All the likes I can get will help my channel and help me get noticed out there in the YouTube community. And if you don't already subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. With that, happy modeling everybody, and take care.